All you have inside is bright and pure as gold. So let the love pour over you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Mindfully Modest Women podcast. Today we have our first guest, Rebecca, who I am super excited to introduce. She's going to tell us a little bit about her journey and what modesty means to her. So, Rebecca, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me onto this podcast and being your first guest. Really exciting. I'm actually from a Instagram. I actually do Instagram content for my modest girls. So we do a lot of outfit inspirations and just trying to build a community around modesty. And yeah, so really excited to be on this podcast.
Lovely. Yes, Rebecca and I actually did meet through Instagram on her Modesty Instagram fashion page. That was a mouthful. But Rebecca, why don't you go ahead and let us know a little bit about your background and you coming into modesty, how it's been for you so far?
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, my background which is, I've literally just graduated. But before that, in my modesty journey, I would say it was it's a gradual process. And I wasn't really into modesty until I started university. I would say like second year. It was, it was interesting because growing up, I was actually in a church that was very, very heavy on being modest. And I wasn't as into it because I really didn't understand like the meaning of modesty and why we had to wear skirts and this and that. And I wasn't really for it because I actually used to cringe at the word modesty because like I don't get it. Like, why are we dressing like this? Why can't I dress like my friends? And like, I think it was a lot of peer pressure because at that time it was it was during kind of like the peak of teenage years where we just wanted to like fit in and be like our friends and dress like the way they did. But I didn't really get it and I really didn't want to like associate myself with that kind of dressing. But I think as the years went by and because during university I started to like build my relationship with God a bit more and I think he started to reveal things to me and like I would actually get some kind of revelation that the things I would wear isn't right and like, oh, you're revealing too much. Like something will actually tell me. Um, this is this is when my relationship was strong with God, and He would tell me, oh, maybe don't wear this or stop wearing this because gradually I'd start to like stop wearing certain clothes and certain things, and yeah, it just stemmed from there really, and I've just been trying to dress modestly ever since. But I would say one thing that actually was difficult was the fact that there wasn't a lot of options for modest dresses like myself. It was really difficult to find clothes that I genuinely liked and felt confident in. So I would say that was one of the challenges of dressing modestly. But yeah, that was kind of my journey towards modesty.
Right. I definitely can see where a lot of young women can struggle with finding their way within modesty. So, kudos to you for keeping going, even though it was a little bit challenging at the beginning. So, could you explain to us what modesty looks like for you? So, is that, do you embody being modest in speech and behavior as well as dress, or are you just focused on modest dressing?
That's a really interesting question because I think it I think it definitely starts from inside because you can't really I mean, because I know everyone has their personal preferences on how they would want to dress. But for me, it starts from the inside and projects out. So it was more of like an internal like change for me, and then it kind of gradually started to come out because I think once you start to, from a religious perspective, once you start to like understand certain things, your character changes and like your the way you behave also changes. So then naturally, the things that you associate yourself with and the places you go to, and then naturally the clothes you wear also change. So I think it's definitely all of the above. So behavior, speech definitely changes the way you dress.
Yes, yes, I definitely can attest to that. Modesty does definitely start from the inside out. My personal journey, I'm still on my journey, but beginning my journey, obviously, I had to do like a self check of how am I behaving as well as how am I dressing. Because a lot of times, you are kind of like what you wear, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's how I started to feel about it. So I had to change my behavior as well as my dress. So, okay, let's go to a fun question now. How do you think modesty has changed you as a woman?
I would say it's changed me. I was That's actually really a good question because I think it changed me as first through how I behaved, acted, and then obviously how I then now dress. And I think it's actually changed me quite a lot because now I don't really see um I don't really see all the trendy styles, the really provocative styles that's intriguing to me anymore. Because before I used to be like, I wish I could wear this, or I wish I could wear that, or I wish I could do like this person. But now it's more of like it's not that I've accepted that I can't dress like that, but I've accepted that I'm the way I am, and um, God has let this happen for a reason. So why should I feel a certain way when I see like different trends and like other dressing that looks really cute but I can't wear? So I think it's just changed me in the fact that I just don't. Um, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff anymore, like at all, which is really weird for me. But yeah, I think that's how it's changed me personally.
That's a really good perspective. I like to say with modesty comes responsibility. And now that you've elevated yourself, you understand the responsibility and you've kind of matured in a way. And I think that is it's kind of a hard level to get to within modesty for young women, but it is definitely possible to get to. And you're there, you're seeing it, and yeah, just keep elevating. And that's great to see that you've been able to recognize that. Alrighty, so my next question for you is: would you encourage all women to become more modest?
Okay. Yes, I definitely think all women should try to become modest, but I know everyone is on their personal journey, and I think a lot of the time, a lot of people don't realize that they're actually dressing modestly because I think there's uh, there's definitely a modesty, and then there's also conservative, so not showing a lot of skin and being very reserved in the way you dress. That's also like a form of modesty as well. But yeah, I definitely do think all women should try, like dress modest. Yeah, I think it's just modesty is tied to that the religious aspect, but I don't think it should be completely um it doesn't completely belong to a category like a religious um yeah, the religious background is I believe it's for everyone, honestly. And anyone could dress modestly. Um you don't even have to label yourself as, oh, I dress modestly. But I think it's just the way you look and the way you yeah, it's just the way you look and how you portray yourself in a humble and modest manner. Yeah, I think that's my take on it.
Thank you for sharing your perspective with us, Rebecca. So, I would like to ask you now, do you want to grow more in your modesty journey?
Yes, I don't think so. I'm still on the journey, anyways. I think it can be hard sometimes, especially when like you don't really have a lot of friends who also dress modestly. So it's kind of hard to bounce back each other. But I think at the end of the day, it's still a personal journey, and I'm still growing. I still learn things every day on what to wear, what not to wear. Like I don't think you ever stop learning. I think it's just something that you just keep growing, whether you cover up more or you stay the way you are. It honestly depends on you and your relationship with God or how you personally feel and your your personal journey. So yeah.
All right, now let's go into what would you want to say to other women on this journey?
Okay. To other women on this journey, I want to say that you should definitely take your time. And whether if you're religious, I would definitely say to uh, keep going because and this I believe that this is honestly the best thing you could do for yourself if you do try going down the modest path. Yeah, I would say just take your time, really understand why you want to become more modest, and also remember that you have to feel confident in what you wear, or else you would not last that long at all. Because if you don't feel confident in your the way you dress, I believe it's not really gonna work because that's what happened with me. Because when I wasn't confident in what I was wearing, it did not last. But when you feel confident and you know why you're in this modesty journey, you will definitely go far and you'll be glad that you started it.
Beautiful. Well said. Okay, Rebecca, I know that you have your Modesty Instagram page. If you'd like to share with us a little bit more about this page and what you hope for the future.
Yes. So for those that don't know, I have a modest fashion account. It's called Modet. Um, so our main focus for this account was to create a modest community of women who dress modestly or even want to try and dress modestly. I believe it's for everyone, and everyone should at least try it. And yeah, I just post a lot of content on outfit inspiration because I know a lot of people struggle with how to style certain outfits, clothes, or even what to wear. And the biggest one is where to even get the clothes from in the first place. So the future plans for Modet is to really to eventually create a marketplace for modest pieces, modest clothing, of for everyone's style, so that it's easier for them to shop for these modest clothes without having to feel like they're they're shopping for hours, they can't find anything, and then that makes them discouraged, feeling that there's nothing really out there for them. So it's just to create a better shopping experience for modest dressers, really. So yeah, I just hope to um, motivate and support all the girls trying to dress more modestly.
Wow, and that is just so inspirational, Rebecca. That is why I reached out to you and I wanted you on this podcast. And I feel like we need more of this ambition for modesty in society today. Alrighty, everybody, now we have a bonus question. I hope you're ready for this because I'm ready for this. So let's go. Okay, our bonus question is dating while modest. So let's get Rebecca's take on that.
Well, dating one modest, I would say be prepared to get no attention in terms of people or guys coming up to you and trying to try date you because I think once you go on this modest journey, it's not really lonely, but you don't get the same attention as you would if you weren't modest. That's one thing that I've noticed. You definitely don't get a lot of attention, and I think it's mainly to do with the fact that you're not showing a lot to the guys that they're not interested in that because I think men are. I think I read somewhere where men are very visual creatures. So um, yeah, so I think it could be very difficult. Yeah, but I think just stick to it because the right person will find you regardless because of who you are as a person. Because they'll get to know you for who you are rather than what they see at first. So I think it's really important to remember that and just stay true to yourself and don't let what you see outside um, dictate how you should behave or how you should date because honestly, everyone is different. And I think you should definitely take your time in the dating scene because it's very scary out there. So just, yeah, just hang in there and the right one will definitely find you because I think it definitely weeds out the wrong type of guys that you don't want to be with. And yeah, the right one will value you for who you are.
Wow. Well said. Okay, so I just want to express my gratitude for you being my first guest on this podcast. You did such a great job answering my questions. And that bonus question, I hope all of you ladies were listening out there. Thank you for shedding light on your journey with us, Rebecca. It's really beautiful, and I wish you all the best in your continued journey towards modesty. Now, do you have any final remarks before we close out today's podcast?
Yeah, I would just want to say to all the modest girls um, that you're not alone, that we are all here as a community to support you. And obviously, you guys can reach out to me, DM me if you have any questions. But yeah, we're all a community. We're doing this together to hopefully build a bigger modest community and to kind of destigmatize it and make it for everyone, really. So yeah, these are my last words. And thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I'm really, really glad to be the first guest.
And wow, thank you again, Amelia Rebecca. I am so glad that she was my first guest. I hope you guys that were tuning in today enjoyed this podcast episode. If you would like to know more about Rebecca and her modesty journey, I will be giving all of that information in a description on my YouTube and Instagram page for Mindfully Modest Women podcast. Until next time, stay peaceful and stay modest. Bye.
You've got that fire to keep you